Over the last week, I have been testing out some nasal and mouth strips to help me breathe a little bit better at night, and I've got some surprising results for you. Day 4, I think. Day 4 of doing my nose taping at night, and tonight I'm quite blocked. That one's okay. That's very blocked. Let's see how we go putting this on. I've taken them away with me. We're away. So let me have a look in the mirror. That's better. Much better than before. That's so easy. So I can breathe out of that tonight. That's good. Well, let's just say I don't think I'll ever be able to sleep without a nose strip again. I actually started these when I had a bit of a cold. So clearly your nose stuffs up a little bit more when you have a cold. So the nose strips have been an absolute godsend. And I reached out to this company and they sent me some of their nasal strips, which you basically just peel off. I'll put one on now for you. You peel it off. You put it underneath the bridge of your nose. You slap it on there. And it opens up your nasal passages. Why would this be important? Like, really? Do we really need this? Does it really make much of a difference if I breathe out of my nose over my mouth during the night? Well, I breathe out my nose all day long, right? No problems whatsoever. Breathe out of it all day long. The moment I lay down, one of my nostrils collapses. And I'm actually going to show you. It probably will do it right now. Okay. I can breathe out my nose normally. The moment I lay down, one of my nostrils collapses. I don't know if that's because maybe I've had an injury to my nose in the past, or it just, I don't know why, but I do struggle at night to get a full suck of air through my nose, and I find when I'm asleep and kind of out cold and I don't know what I'm doing, I wake up like this. And then when I wake up in the morning, I have a dry throat. I just feel yucky in the mouth, bad breath, all the things, you know? So I was like, I'm going to try these things. I'm going to see if this actually works and if it's going to open up my nasal passages. Clearly, it works. But I want to actually teach you a little bit more about why nasal breathing is so much more important than mouth breathing and why we should be doing it all the time, as often as we can. Why do we want to breathe out of our nose as often as we can? What's important about the nose is it carries sensory receptors. Think smell. When you smell something, those sensory receptors light up. But those sensory receptors are also connected to your parasympathetic nervous response. So that is your calming state of being. So when we breathe out of our nose, we are choosing to switch on more of that parasympathetic, calming the alarm state. Therefore, we will wake up feeling less fatigued, less stiff, less sore, less anxious, less everything, because we want to be in more of a calming autonomic state throughout the night. And mouth breathing bypasses that completely, leading to more of a sympathetic dominance. So breathe out of here. Think of when you're exercising. You need charge, you need focus, you need drive, you need speed, you need, power. That can come from here way faster than it can come from here. When you're sleeping, you don't want any of that stuff. You want to be relaxed and calm. So we need to choose this as often as possible. Breathing through the nose also helps humidify the air. It is like a filtration system. So we've got two options, right? We've got the nose and the mouth, but this is like drinking filtered water over tap water. This is tap water, this is filtered water. But think this is filtered air and this is unfiltered air. When we breathe air through our nose, there are little hairs in there that will help to clear the air, help to humidify the air, bringing warm air into the lungs. And in Chinese medicine, we want to warm our organs as much as possible because it's going to help with our qi. It's going to help with boosting our immunity and help with our vitality, especially if we have warm air going through the lungs over a big gulp of cold air. So this is going to purify the pollutants, the toxins, the dust, the particles, and it's going to then warm that air and bring about a little bit more chi and energy to the system. It's also going to stimulate your olfactory nerve, which only comes from breathing through the nose. This is going to stimulate better moods, better emotions, and you're going to have better cognitive function the more you breathe out of here than here. Think quick-term performance and think long-term health gains and performance up here. And breathing through here will also help to produce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide helps oxygen absorb better in the lungs. So the more you breathe out your nose, or in your nose and out your nose, the better the absorption of oxygen, the better the circulation, the quicker the circulation, the better the air quality to deliver better circulation around your system as well. This, yes, is fast, but it's just not as efficient or effective, and it definitely won't switch on the absorption rate like the nitric oxide does from your nasal cavity. What's fascinating about the nose too, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but throughout the day, you have what's called a nasal cycle. This kind of tripped me out a little bit because I was like, why? Like now, blocked, unblocked. But literally in maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, if I test this again, this one will be blocked and this one won't. That's called a nasal cycle, and it is an autonomic, meaning an involuntary. You have no control over it whatsoever, and it does this because it is activating and stimulating different parts of your brain. So think, when I can't breathe out of my, this is my left nostril, but I can breathe out my right nostril. At the moment, me breathing out of my right nostril, having clear pathways to the left side of my brain. So I need more activation, clearly right now, my brain thinks so, in my left side of my brain. Right nose, clear, left activation. Your left side of your brain is your analytical, logical to-do list. Yeah, I kind of need that right now while I'm talking to you. I need clarity and focus and attention, and I have a system in play of what I want to say. When it switches over, maybe this afternoon, who knows? It's autonomic. I don't know when it's going to happen. If my right side of my nose blocks up and my left is clear, the air can go straight to the right side of my brain, which is my creative, music, art, kind of dance, imagination brain. And it will cycle left to right and left to right throughout the day without you even knowing about it. That's what's cool about your brain. It has your back. Has your nose too, clearly. So it just goes about, its day, and it goes, oh, Elise needs a little bit more left-sided activation. She's been jumping around and playing in La La Land too long. Let's get a little bit more oxygenation, circulation, and activation to the left side of her brain. Let's block up her left nose, clear her right nostrils. There we go. More activation to the left side of the brain. The nose is fascinating, but then we can get something like this. Stick it on our nose. And instantly, like, look at that. Ready? Let me take that off. Let me put it on. And instantly, both nasal passages are now delivering pure oxygenation to both hemispheres of my brain. Do you think that's going to give me more cognitive clarity, more immune boosting energy? 100%. My brain is going to be receiving beautiful amounts of oxygenation, therefore allowing me to perform better, focus better, have better cognitive drive. Therefore, my functions in my organs are going to perform better because the boss is at its finest and at its peak. So will I continue to use the nasal strips? 100%. I will probably use them for the rest of my life if it means I can breathe as good as this. Will I use the mouth tape? Probably not. I did use the mouth tape for the first couple of nights just to get my brain used to shutting my mouth all night long. However, I do find that if I have free flow nasal passages, my mouth shuts automatically. I just close it throughout the night. But if you are someone who is a little bit more of a snorer or chronic mouth breather, I highly suggest you use both the nose tape and the mouth tape, because it's just going to train your brain into creating a new pattern to close the mouth and breathe out of the nose. And that's going to take a little bit of time. So this will be a great training tool to do that for you. And don't forget, if we do continue to breathe out of our mouth and we have that poorer air quality, we are more inclined to get things like respiratory tract infections, irritation in the lungs, coughing, sneezing, all of that sort of stuff too. So we don't want that. We want the best quality air we can possibly breathe in 24/7, 365 days a year. That's why I need goat, the greatest of all tapes, to create a tan colored one so that I can wear under my makeup all the time so that no one knows I'm wearing a nasal strip. Because I just want optimal brain charging health 24/7. Do you? We all do, don't we? So yes, that is my 10 out of 10. Absolutely, I will be continuing to use the nasal strips because I need it. I need the help. My poor little nasal nose passages need the help. Go out, get yourself some. Let me know how you go. But from a brain perspective, highly recommend.